Hey everyone, it's Chris Colson and Isaiah Tukes with Four Friends in the Book podcast. Here with a special edition of our show, which we like to call the Author Spotlight. So look, if you're familiar with Four Friends in the Book, we're normally reading books and reviewing them and also having conversations about what may or may not relate to those books. And of course, at the end, we hit you with these rants from Mr. Isaiah Tukes himself. But on our Author Spotlight segment, like to kind of switch it up a little bit. We want to get on the opposite side of those pages and hear from the author firsthand themselves to kind of get their perspective about writing a book, hearing their journey, hearing their inspiration, and kind of just some background information about writing a book and that whole process. And so today, have a very special guest here with us. Have Mr. Paul Williams, author of The King's Omen, here on Four Friends in the Book podcast.
So, Paul, first, thank you so much for tuning in to our, well, not just tuning in, but just coming on our author spotlight for this month. We want to first just start off with just tell us something about yourself and just what made you just want to just write and just publish this book.
So really, man, like as far back as I can remember, to quote Mr. Ray Liotta, but like seriously, I always wanted to write, man. The furthest memory I can think about wanting to write is Reading Rainbow, man. Like with LeVar Burton, man. Listen, everybody know the song, man. Everybody know. Yeah. I can't go anywhere. Like literally, man, this is 5-year-old Paul, and I'm looking at the TV, man, and LeVar Burton is just saying like, this book is phenomenal, and this is why you should read it, and this is the details. And he went through every single page, and I'm like, I like these stories. Like I really like what he's talking about. And when I got a little older, you know what I'm saying? I really started watching while I was reading the Goosebump books first. So shout out to R.L. Stein. You know what I'm saying?
I know about those.
I am a 90s kid, if you can't tell.
One of my favorites too.
Yeah, I'm a Goosebump fan.
Like, dude, man, the Goosebumps books was off the chain as a little kid, man. So I like the stories, and that was probably the first time I actually picked up a pencil and actually started writing some stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? So I had the little corny little stories. I had my little notepad going on, man. I really thought I was doing something. I had a little twist and all this stuff. But what I really didn't realize I was doing, I'm like, I am really crafting stories out here. So like fast forward to me being maybe, I don't know, 10 years old, maybe 11, I actually started looking at Batman the Animated Series was another inspiration to me. And these stories was like, seriously, even though it was a kid cartoon, I appreciated the storytelling because I'm like, man, this dude Batman is going through some stuff and there's layers to it. So like little me is thinking mentally, let me see if I can craft my pen just a little bit more. So I started, 10, 11, 12 years old, kind of critiquing and getting little techniques here and there. So as soon as I hit maybe 13, I fell in love with hip hop music. So, I actually was writing. I actually was writing music before I was writing like stories. So here we go, Jay-Z, Tupac, Nas, Biggie, all these people I'm growing up on. I'm like, man, all the storytelling could go into music too. So like, that's a whole nother platform. Finding techniques to write, stories and stuff like that. So probably once I became an adult, my big inspiration was Martin Scorsese. Like he's known as, he's the gangster guy. He's the gangster movies. But if you look at his filmography, he only has 5 mobster movies. It's Goodfellas, Casino, Gangs of New York, The Departed, and now The Irishman. That's 5 in like 50 years. This dude been telling stories, but his characters, they're always human element. They're just regular guys. It's no good. It's no bad. So like, there we go again. I'm like, man, okay, let me just try to craft my art like this to try to make my characters really human. Try to find that gray area is not so much black and white. So I pour my inspirations on so many stuff, but that's as far back as I can remember, man. Like seriously, going back on it.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, I definitely was a fan of the Goosebump books. So yeah, man. Even when they made them to kind of little TV miniseries, they kind of they took the books and made them into TV. So that's kind of one of my earliest memories of kind of reading and getting into books as well. And that's what we like to promote here, man. We the joys of literature, especially within the Black community. Like to kind of push that. And that's kind of one of our mainstays here on Four Friends in the Book. But Paul, to kind of go a little deeper, man. So again, the King's Omen. And bro, you got 5 volumes, man, going from the book of the broken families, the book of peace and war, Journey, Book of Regrets, Redemption, following Bruce Edwards in this crime family in Ohio. Give us a little background on kind of your motivation for the book, and also, man, like, dude, you got 5 volumes. Like, give us some a little details about the book and the character building, and even again your inspiration for writing this crime kind of murder mystery thriller type book.
So my inspiration actually came from, I was actually writing the album. Wait, let me take that back. I like to write a lot of scripts. So I would just write a tons of script. This is probably dating back to maybe 2012. And I wrote something about Izzy Edwards. He was the last Don. He went up against the mafia and it kind of took him down, in his time. He had a daughter, Angela Edwards. Her story was called The Last Generations because she was supposed to be the last one. So she kind of went up against the mafia too, but she was more successful than Bruce was. So she ended up having or than Izzy was, I'm sorry. She ended up having a son named Bruce, but Bruce was maybe 5 years old when she got murdered. So his story was like, you know what? I seen what happened. I'm not going nowhere near that. I don't want to touch that. I just want to live my life and be a normal guy. Because the Edwards crime family actually dates back to the 1930s policy racket. So, this is back when Black people actually, fun fact, we invented that. It wasn't even called the lottery yet. We invented that before, the mafia came in and killed us and murdered us and took it from us. You know what I'm saying? But that was our joints. We had the policy rackets. We had the number joints and the housing. Everybody was making money and it was organized. The mafia really didn't like that. So they kind of crept in there. Sam Giancana, the Chicago outfit, real life kind of crept up in there, man. And if you actually go back to, not to trail off, but Ted Rowe and Ed Jones, if you look them up back in Chicago, but that was like 1920s or something. Those were the OGs that actually started that. And Sam Giancana came in from Chicago outfit and kind of, he muscled in on them and killed them. So he kind of took it from him.
Then it got real life Harlem Nights, right?
Real life. Man, that's how it be sometimes, man. Like we be moving up and they don't like that sometimes. So his family dates back to the 1930s policy racket. So, fast forward to the 60s, they start pushing narcotics and stuff. And Izzy's father was a crooked cop. So he kind of fell into crime too. And, like I said, Izzy down to Angela, down to Bruce, who says, I don't want anything to do with this at all. So I just want to live a normal life. But financial woes kind of reel him back into it. Like, not to spoil it, but he's just so down on his luck. His daughter has a plethora of health issues. So, he's got 4 kids that he got to feed, including his wife. His older daughter is the one with the health issues. And then he starts like losing his jobs and stuff, getting laid off. He's like, man, I can't even make the rent, let alone feed 6 people, including myself. So he kind of runs into this guy named Cleotis Marcelin, who was like the Ohio drug lord, the boss of bosses, Cappy di Tutti Cappy. Like he is literally the man in Ohio, but he knows his daughter. So his daughter kind of, she wants to try to reel him in and say, hey, man, you down on your luck. You know what I'm saying? So I can find you a way to make some money. You know what I'm saying? So he like kind of goes in. Cleo's is kind of his mentor a little bit. So he's literally having success in one family while his real family is just downfall. Everybody that he knows is, kind of don't want nothing to do with him because they say you're going back on your word. So everybody around him, his life is like down spiraling. So it's a long story, you know what I'm saying? And just the inspiration behind it, man, is I like to kind of like I was saying about Martin Scorsese. I like to show human emotions. I really do. Because in real life, there's a lot of tragic people, man. We make good decisions. Sometimes we make bad decisions. Everybody looks at art different. Like we all 3 of us right now could be looking at the same picture and we're gonna have a different opinion about and all of it. You know what I'm saying? Life imitates art imitates life. Everybody has a different opinion. It's up to the reader and viewer to decide, what's what. So it's like it's a good story there, man. It's really deep. It got layers. I'm big on symbolism. Like, I'm big on colors. Colors mean something. Numbers mean something. It's a lot. It's a lot that this guy goes through. And, you could choose to root for him or not. You could choose to, call him a criminal. Or you could, say however you want to. But that's the beauty of it, because at the end of the day, nobody's wrong. Just how, we judge people in real life. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm X was probably the epitome of a polarizing figure. If you was with him, he was with him. You're like, okay, well, he fought. You know what I'm saying? He was a fighter. So some people might look at Martin Luther King like, hey, I sometimes I might want to turn the other cheek, but it's like I said, different opinions, man. But that's what makes life beautiful, man, because everybody looks at it a different way.
And Paul, just from listening to you, you have this background of coming from music. You say you like Jay-Z and Tupac, and your background in movies. Is this a lot of where you get your inspiration from, like your character development, especially your writing process? Because you have to have that kind of vivid imagination, just to paint those pictures. Because I hear you talking, I can see you have this vivid imagination. So it just wants to make me actually dive into a lot of your books as well too, because I have a type of that vivid imagination, and I like when people just can pull things from different types of all things. You just don't have to focus on one specific aspect, but you're able to just get some type of aspiration on everything you see. Like you say, like you into colors as well too. I would have never thought that colors, like looking at a specific color, can basically pull like some type of imagination as well too. So I like listening to that.
Thank you, man. Like, so all right, so the writing, let me let y'all dive into my studio real quick, because my writing process is severe. Like, listen, man, I love writing. Don't get me wrong, man. I love it, but I can't wait till it's over, because it's painful, but it's a good pain, because you're developing a story. Yeah, you're training your mind, man. So like, when I get it, so let's say I'm writing, okay, this the sixth book or whatever, King's Open series. So this guy is named Steve Johnson, and I have to, before I could even make Steve Johnson the character, I have to go where he was born, his birth, his beginning, his childhood, his teenage years, his adult years, background. And I'm talking about Steve by himself could be 50 pages before I even start. This is just Steve. Gotcha. We ain't even talking about Monica and Jasmine and Isabella, his cousin, and his mama, and all them. Like, every single character has a story and a background. But then once you get those characters developed and stuff, now you have to formulate your story, but they all got to meet. They all got to make sense. You know what I'm saying? If Steve was a funny guy, it's got to come together. Sometimes this stuff takes years, man. So like, it's literally a tedious process, man. You gotta, whatever you do, you got to stick to your story. If one guy's a funny guy, he's got to be funny, but he can be multi-layered too, because if the funny guy is serious, then he really means it. So it's like, you got to have your multi-layered characters, because nobody ever stays the same. In 3 years, you could be somebody totally different. So it's like, you got to make it make sense. You got to make, because it's your universe. You created it, but once people start reading, they're gonna be like, hey, so-and-so wouldn't do that in this character and this. So you got to keep it canon. So like, man, when you writing and dude, when I say it took me 4 years to write these 5 books, bro, 4 years from I started in 2020. I am a married man with 2 babies. There was 2 babies at the time, bro. Where was the time at? You feel me? Like, bro, I am blessed, man. I got the best wife in the world. She gave me time to develop this stuff, man. I'll be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, work the same day, come home, rock the babies, put them to sleep. We'll sleep for a couple hours, right back in the morning at just 4 a.m., man. Like, dedication, because I believe in your craft. You got to believe in it first before somebody else could believe it to you. Yeah, man. So like, it took me 4 years, man. But once now that hard part is over, now it's just about letting the entire world know, like, this is what I created, man. Here y'all go.
That's awesome, Paul. That's awesome, man. Bro, I'm proud of you. Even just hearing your story, the dedication and the persistence to kind of even again have this idea to write a book and to put it out there in the world. And like I said, life getting away and there's a lot that goes on, but for you to even to start and have that ability to kind of see it through is awesome, man. So where I applaud you and salute you for making that happen.
Thank you.
Real quick. So even with that being said, because again, we want to kind of get your behind the scenes, background and kind of knowledge about this process for you. But for people that may be considering writing a book or aspiring authors, what word of advice or encouragement would you give someone that may be considering or contemplating like beginning to write a book? What advice or words of encouragement would you give to someone that may be thinking about that?
So this is what you do. This is what I did. You make a list and you stick with it. I'm talking about number one, whatever that is, you write the story. Number two, whatever your number two is. Okay, well, I write the story, then let's get the storyline. And number three, so whatever is on that level, promote it, or then number four, get it in the bookstores, and number five, promote it on social media. Whatever that list is, stick to it, because you got to have an end game. This is a hobby, but look, man, you want this to be created. You want this to be out in the universe. You can't just pick some things on the list, or you just do it for fun. Like, yeah, God gave me this gift, but now what good is the gift if I'm just keeping it to myself? So now it's like whatever it is. I don't care if it's 3 things on the list. You got to stick with it, and you got to have that end game. Like literally, like, so this is me now. Like I said, I've been promoting this book. I've been screaming it to the rooftops. 2025 for me, I got the vision like already set. I don't care if I don't sell one book this year. I haven't even had a review yet, but it's not about the book sales. It's not about the money. Rome wasn't built in a day. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to see the future first before I can start promoting this thing. So like, okay, it's in the atmosphere now. I've been telling everybody, so now it's in their minds, about the King Omen. 2026, okay, that gives them a year to kind of, get it in their mindset and be like, hey, man, that dude told me about the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I should check it out. Maybe I should see what's going on with it. So now you plant those seeds. You plant those seeds in different places. You plant those seeds all over. So eventually them seeds are going to grow. Eventually they're going to grow and they're going to develop. And that's how you start to see your success. I'm thinking like 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to stick with it. And to me, like when you hear that criticism, you take it. You take it. I remember not to hold y'all up, but the first bookstore that I went to, I had my first 2 volumes and I gave it to the librarian, the young lady, and she was like, okay. It's like this is a lot of work right here, and yeah, this is good, but this is going to be a long process. And you went to school for this, and and it's hard to sell a book, and you just got to remember, even the famous authors, it's hard to sell a book. You're doing good, but you just got to know it's a long process, and like if you don't have a heavy social media following, I don't know how successful you're going to be. I'm like, thank you. I needed to hear that. But you're gonna get this book in your store though. You know what I'm saying? Like
now take this book.
All I want to do is just go myself. You feel me? So it's like, and even hearing that, I'm like, thank you. I needed to hear that, because now you motivated me even more. Because let's be honest, like, no, I didn't do that stuff. And maybe, I skipped some stuff here and there, but it wasn't in my mindset. Like, I hit the finish line. So those people that you're talking about in the writing room, no, knock it to them, because, hey, listen, everybody needs to be educated. And I don't know everything. I'm still learning. But at the same time, right now, I'm where they're trying to be at. I'm in here. I'm in the bookstore. They're still learning. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give me credit on that. Like, I'm just moving. I'm just coasting, man. Like, you just got to just stick to your list, stick to that vision, man. Wherever God wants you to be, you're going to be. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be. But nobody ever gets blessed by everything going the way it's supposed to be blessed or supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? You only get blessed through struggle. So we're going to struggle a little bit. But boy, when you see that in the game, you're going to be like, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, amen.
Look at my boy in here preaching, man. That's a good word, bro.
Look, I'm speechless. He's preaching to me.
You needed to hear it, baby.
I like to hear that, man. And Paul, you talked about, like, your inspiration, and when times get tough, you actually got to remember your why and why you actually started writing your process. But just for some of the newer listeners who aren't new or haven't heard about your story yet, you do have 5 books because you say you wrote 5 books in 4 years. Well, the last 4 years. So which book first would you first tell them to first start with, to introduce themselves to your writing style and, to get into your work? So the books that you have published.
So it is a series. So you gotta
Okay.
start with book one. That
Okay.
actually introduces all the crime families. It's 3
Gotcha.
crime families in this joint. So you got to get
Okay.
the Edwards, you got to get the Marshalls, you got to get the Broussards, you got to get the CCK. That's another one that's in there. So you got
Gotcha.
to start with one. Once you
You'll skip
start with
around.
one, hey, it's a wrap. And like I like
Good.
slow pace Godfather type of novels like that.
Okay.
Literally you see every single action of these people, and you just got to remember that some that you read in book one might not foresee it until like maybe book 3 or book 4. So you got to start with that book one and just move your way through, man.
That's good.
I
That's
love
good.
it. Start. Don't skip around. Start with series number 1.
They're right. It ain't a prequel. Got to start with one.
Yeah, Paul, real quick, even on that. So did you write them? Like, did you write just one large book and then break it up into series, or did you actually write them, like finish one volume, then go to the next? Like, how was that process for you?
Ooh, you do me well. That's exactly what I did. Chris, I ain't gonna lie. That's literally exactly what I did. But and this is before I even knew anything about writing a book, because it wasn't even supposed to be a book. It was supposed to be like a little strip. Man, I was up to like 1,000 pages. I was like, okay, nobody gonna read no 1,000-page book. I gotta break this up into series.
Gotta chop it down, make it a little digestible. Yeah.
Right. But I'm like, you know what? Even marketing wise, that might be a little bit better, man. Because you get them with the first book, then they'll buy the second one, third, fourth, hopefully buy the whole thing.
That's good. That's good.
Good, man.
Yeah. So even speaking on that, man, tell the people, our viewing and listening audience, how can they connect with you, and also most importantly, how can they find your book?
So you can connect with me on Instagram, the King's Omen series. That's where I'm at. I think Twitter, King's Omen series as well. Everything King's Omen. You just search King's Omen and you're gonna find that book. It is on Amazon. Of course, it's I got the digitals for only 99 cents. So that come on, can't tell me you ain't got $1. And I got physical copies too. If you want to buy that, it's physical copies too as well.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I love that, man.
Thank you.
And of course we'll definitely drop all that information here in our comments, so you guys definitely go check out Mr. Paul Williams and learn about this the King's Open of Ohio, and learn about this family and get right into this series. So brother, again, man, we appreciate your time.
Thank
for you kind of
so
just
much.
giving us your background, your inspiration, and bro, even just again your ability to kind of stick with this process and to have an idea, and like you said, to stick to your list and see it through. So bro, we applaud you for what you've done, what you've accomplished, and the vision that you have even into the future. Again, planting these seeds and sitting back and watching them grow. So look, man, we applaud you for that and all the good work that you've done thus far.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. And y'all keep lifting up Black authors, man. And yeah, we all on the same boat, man. We just trying to sail to the end, man. So thank you, man, brothers. I appreciate it.
Most definitely.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Look, guys, and as always, let's continue to read, let's learn, let's grow, and let's have a discussion right here on 4 Friends in a Book podcast. Until next time, thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.